What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Wait What Are We Talking About podcast, episode 77. My name is Bret, aka Enigma 9011, and today we're flying solo. But don't worry, we got some cool guests coming up. If you guys want to catch this podcast live, you can always go over to twitch.tv/Enigma9011 every other Saturday at 8 p.m. Eastern. So when we record it, you can join in the chat and join in on the conversation. We'd love to have you. But if you can't catch it live, you can always catch it over on YouTube and SoundCloud that following Friday, where it's put as one big video and MP3 for your amusement. Remember, guys, brought to you by the merch store. You can get all of your swag over there, t-shirts, cups, backpacks, and more. Probably not going to be around too much longer, but I know I keep saying that, and it's still around. I don't know when it runs out, but grab that merch if you'd like it. Support us, rep the brand. It would be greatly appreciated. So, yes, another episode of the podcast. Here it is. Poor planning, as always. Hey, nobody's here, but that's okay. So flying solo, I got some topics that I want to discuss. We had a big event 2 weeks ago of Extra Life that I want to kind of run through. And then there's some more recent stuff that I want to talk about for the other two topics. So let's just jump right on into it and talk about some Extra Life. Extra Life 2020. Was a weird one. Weird one in that, obviously, for Extra Life, usually we have a shit ton of people over, and we play a lot of multiplayer games, and there's chaos, and people are hopping in, people hopping out, all this, that, the other thing. Obviously, this year we had to do it very different with the whole quarantine stuff and all the fun that 2020 has been. But to be honest, I thought it was a lot of fun. Like, not to diminish the other years in any way, shape, or form, but like there was something special about this year. It was just the four of us. It was me and Kate and the parents, and they were very gracious enough to let us have it there and host it. But yeah, it was like I said, it was something special. I don't know if it was more of an intimate affair with us just hanging out with chat more, and that was another thing too. We had a lot of people in chat, not that we don't in other years of Extra Life, but I don't know, it felt like we were more connected and chatting with them. Obviously with the other years, like, we've paid attention to them and we still shout them out when donations are coming in, but I felt like Kate and I, while we were playing games, were definitely more in tune with you guys and talking and laughing about things and cracking jokes and whatever. So like, I think that made it more entertaining and fun, a fun experience overall. So there was that, and then honestly, I wasn't sure the schedule, how that was going to play out, with it only being us two. Like, we talked about doing the Mario Party for the 12 hours, and neither of us were sure if A, it was going to even go 12 hours, or B, if we're going to enjoy it for that long. Not because, the games are bad or anything, just because, it's the same thing, just slightly different mini games or better graphics or whatever it was. So it was interesting planning that, but also having that backup plan if the best of 7 didn't go the 12 hours, if it only went a 4 games spread or 5 games. Like, okay, what games can we have in the back of our pocket, or whatever you want to call it, in the background, I don't know, as a backup to play if this doesn't go. But it did, and it flew by, honestly, too. Like, I know I jokingly said during that stream, like, where were we at, what were we doing in the games, but at some points, like, those games flew by, and I had no idea who's got what stars, where it is, how much money we have, what turn is it. Like, it was all kind of a blur in a way. But it was all fun. And then the second 12 hours, was the usual solo shenanigans. I feel like we had more people once again chatting throughout the night. We had Jeff and his wife, talking with me for a while. Obviously we did the Among Us portion, which was a lot of fun, and I definitely want to play more of that game, but it was awesome to still have that group mentality or aspect of Extra Life of previous years, but obviously just in a different setting in Among Us. So thank you to those guys, Brent, Hojo, Jeff, TJ, Kevin, Billy. I think that was everybody. Yeah, for hopping in and playing with us for that, or with me for that, because that was fun. It was a lot of fun to play for those 2 hours, whether it was the base game or playing hide and seek. And yeah, I'd like to do that for stream more regularly, is do the Among Us games. But I think that, like I said, it was a nice flavor, I guess, or portion of Extra Life, like I said, to kind of call back to previous Extra Lives. And then, yeah, the rest of the 12 hours, obviously, like I said, was more regular, quote unquote, but more people were chatting. Like I said, Jeff and Sarah were there. TJ was there for a while, and I was like, dang, dude, you're staying late. We had to mix it up with, Apex not working, but everything flowed pretty smoothly. I just say our weak point was Spelunky. Not that it was a bad game, it was just similar to Sekiro from earlier streams, like just difficult, and like, I don't know, you got to learn fast and kind of pick up on things quickly. So I don't know. It's definitely a game I want to play more. I don't know if it was the most entertaining for Extra Life's sake. Same with Moving Out. Moving Out was a great game, but I don't know if it was just my poor attitude of being tired that kind of brought that game down. Maybe if we did that earlier, that would have been a lot better, because it's the Overcooked madness just with a moving company, so it could be fun. I was very glad obviously everybody played, but yeah, I feel like I brought that down a certain level that it shouldn't have been. And then Jackbox swung it back up, and that was fun. So the schedule wise, it was a little tinkering here and there probably to make it better, but it was good. Let's see. Papa Griff says, I feel your comments about chat involvement are totally spot on. Plus, all the variety of interactions from the wheel spins kept it changing pace and directions early on. Yeah, for sure. The wheel spin was another. This whole Extra Life was a weird one to plan, because it was like, what do we do? I already mentioned the games, like, we don't have the numerous people there, so it's not like we're gonna always have something on. With more of a cast, for lack of a better term, at least you can kind of rotate in and out. Like, if I don't want to play something, or I just need to take a break, there's always somebody playing something. And with meals too, just rotating in and out, or whatever it is. But then with the wheel spins, like, last year especially, we did a lot of like group activities. Like, we did the 30-second drawing, we did the whisper challenge, we did the staring contest. I think we did I don't know if it was last year or the year before, but we did the cold cuts, like making fun of each other. So there's those mechanics. But yeah, so I was really concerned early on with planning of like, what are we going to do for milestones first off? But then I was like, are we even doing the wheel this year? Like, I don't know. Some of the ideas just weren't there, I guess. And the big thing with me too is like, I don't want to force anybody to do the punishment aspect of Extra Life. It's all like, do what you want to do. So with it being only Kate and I didn't want to put it all on her shoulders of like, now you got to do this stuff kind of thing. But I think it worked out in the end. The wheel spins, yeah, we kept it simple, but I think people enjoyed it a lot, whether it was the exercise or it was the board breaking aspect. I think people really get a kick out of that every year, whether it's Kate doing it or, maybe next year or whatever. I'll have to shake off the rust. Maybe we can do some more fancy stuff. But there was that. The 30-second drawing is pretty funny. I think we could have done better with having maybe topics prepared for that. So that worked. And then the milestones I was pretty happy with. Obviously, we had a lot of future things, like if we get here, we'll do this in the future. It wasn't like an immediate thing. If you were watching Extra Life and you're watching the podcast now, obviously you can tell my hair, you can see my hair is not purple yet. We are behind on that, so don't worry, that's going to happen. But we unlocked a lot of streams. We got a 50-turn Mario Party. We got Mario Kart with all the courses. We got Five Nights at Freddy VR. And then we got a Ring Fit Adventure stream. So like it was a lot of future stuff. Bricks seemed to be a good hit. So we'll see if we can definitely try and do that again. The chip, it seemed like people were into it. A lot of people wanted to watch it, but I don't know if it was as driving of a force as like the hair, for example. Because the year we did the hair, geez, I think we reached our goal in like 5 hours for the hair, and then just it kept going from there. So I don't know. Maybe it's an interesting game to play when planning, of figuring out, okay, what is enticing enough to have people want to donate, kind of thing. So I don't know. Arm circles were a big hit. I won't mention the squats. Yeah, arm circles were a big hit. The squats, yeah, they got, I don't remember what hour that was, like 7 or 8. That got pretty ridiculous, but we had some laughs with that. We had some fun, so that's what's important. So yeah, it was a big challenge this year, like I said, to figure out those milestones. But thinking about it, like, I think each year kind of gets a little bit more difficult and more difficult. This year we did Bean Boozled again, which was, I mean, it was hilarious early on, but it took a toll, at least for Kate's sake, on the breath and all that. So that's a dangerous game. So I don't know. There's some certain things we're going to drop. Like, I think Bean Boozled may have run his course. Like, it's been 5 years of that. The hot stuff, probably not. Like, the one chip is probably the highest. I could do it again. I'm very surprised on how that played out. Like, I don't know, watching a lot of other people, it's like, oh my God, they're dying. I had that one cough or throwing up. Yes. I had that one cough of like, oh God, something's going to happen. But then other than that, like, I don't know if I just like zenned out or whatever, but like, other than that, it wasn't that bad at all. Like, yeah, it hurt and like my mouth felt weird for sure, but I don't know. I told Kate, or I joked about it. I think it was the next day. I was like, man, I should have sold it a little bit more, be more entertaining instead of like toughing it out or whatever. But yeah, I guess maybe we could do that again. I mean, technically I didn't eat the whole chip.
Oh, we don't need to do it again.
But yeah, it's just it's figuring out like what to do next, and that's where it gets more challenging. And you know, you got to be creative, but you got to also be realistic of what you can do or whatever. So that was a big challenge this year, is figuring out that. Your rocking helped you out. Oh yeah, the walk and all that stuff. Yeah, the deep breathing, the walking around, the yeah, it was a whole different thing. Maybe consider less milestones, bigger intervals, or maybe throw in a few giveaways instead of punishment types. Yeah, we could do that. Giveaways, I mean, the only negative about giveaways is money. I mean, obviously getting certain punishments is money as well, but in other ways it's not. I don't know. So yeah, you could definitely do that. We were lucky enough that Sarah and Papa Griff both had giveaways for the stream, which was great, and like they did that all on their own. I didn't ask at all for that, so I appreciate both of them, you know, pitching in to help out and assist with the stream and the fundraiser. Yeah, bigger intervals. I mean, every year I want to raise the money a bit higher. I don't know. My only thinking against that, not against that, but like why I'm hesitant is I want people to feel like their money is, obviously it's going to a good cause. I don't know. I feel like they need that enticement. Because like if it was just like, oh yeah, this is going for the kids, like, shouldn't everybody like line up and just be like, boop, you know, kind of thing? And like, I don't know. Like, you can look in the various cast of years of who's donated, and don't get me wrong, there's those people who donate every year, and I cannot thank them enough. And I can't thank enough the people who donate 1 year, 2 years, whatever. But like, I don't know. If it wasn't enticing enough, did they donate the following year, kind of thing? So it's like, I don't know. It's interesting. Like I said, I wanna go for a higher money goal too, but it's like, can we hit it? Can we not? Nah. So I don't know. It's a delicate balance of doing that. I think the bigger intervals with the wheel spins was definitely smart that you recommended 2 years ago, Papa Griff. So I think we'll keep that. At least at the moment, like if we get like some years where it's like exponential of like, holy crap, we're actually raising a lot quicker, then I think from there it's kind of like a chart or a graph, like more donations equals more intervals, like it goes higher. You got to find that balance, I guess, instead of like too low intervals is like in the high, that was the $10 wheel spins where we had like 60 left over or whatever. Like it's that delicate balance and dance. But yeah, that definitely makes sense. I don't know. I think the punishment type of stuff, like to a certain degree, that's what I find personally entertaining about like other Extra Life streams that I watch, like the kind of funny streams or Rooster Teeth. Like Rooster Teeth, and don't get me wrong, some things that they do, it's like, Jesus Christ, why are you guys doing this to yourself? But you know, it is incentive. I get it. And I don't know. It's just like, what else can I do? Like I was very nervous about the stream milestones. Like, are people going to be enticed enough about a 50-turn Mario Party, a Mario Kart, the Five Nights at Freddy VR I can get because we tried it last year at Extra Life and it didn't go well. So the entire stream of that. I think the Ring Fit is more of like a comedic value of like, yeah, we're working out and we look stupid while doing it. But yeah, it's like, what else can I do besides the giveaways per se, or like, I don't know. It's interesting. Thinking of those ideas and what can I do and provide without, I don't know, doing the things against myself, I guess. No worries, glad to help. That way I do it again. Don't sweat that. Appreciate that. So yeah, there was that. I also felt a positive this year. I didn't feel, now I know in the morning I was very de-energized. Like I was not as hype and upbeat, I guess you could say, for like the earlier portions, but I didn't feel as tired as quickly or in general. Like I don't think I really had a struggle moment until maybe 2 or 3. There was definitely a moment in my hero or the Apex like block that I nodded off like a quick little blip. And that was the first time I had caffeine for the day. So I don't know if that's maybe it, just limiting the caffeine intake. Probably that helped, not having that crash so early. So I'm pretty proud of that. Also, I don't know if the 12-hour shifts at work helped with that too. Possibly. And that's the thing too. Like I woke up very early for me, very early on the Extra Life day. I think I was up at 7 a.m. Stream didn't start till 12. Couldn't get back to sleep. So I was technically up, obviously more than that 24. So I don't know. I was selfishly proud of that. I did talk to Kate also the following day when we kind of talked about Extra Life. Like I definitely do regret how I acted in the morning where I talked about moving out, but that low energy, like I kept telling myself, okay, like, whew, you know, people are here again. Like you're not by yourself. We let's gear it back up again. But it's just difficult at that point. So hopefully next year, you know, I can kind of hit that second, third gear, whatever you want to call it, and kind of get back in that mindset instead of just I'm here and I'm a statue, just kind of going through the motions. But yeah, like I said, this year's Extra Life was great. It was a lot of fun. It was a blast. We set a new fundraising high point record. Jesus Christ, that's the word. Set a new record, which was great. Like I said, we had a lot of people watching and chatting. I don't know. What if you did midnight to midnight? Would that help or hurt? Oh yeah, that's a good idea. Like, or good question. Like changing up the block or changing up the time. This kind of rolls into where I was going to go anyway. Or transitions with it. Kate and I talked about it afterwards, and we kind of already started planning next year's. We both agree that this year was a lot of fun, and it went really well. She's personally against the 24 hours just because obviously the aftermath of like death the next day of sleeping for me and things of that nature. I know I've teased doing maybe 2 extra lives a year. I think I still want to do that just because we can do more outdoor stuff during like a summer one. Like November's always hit or miss of like it's going to get cold or there's snow already on the ground, etc. But yeah, the time change would be an interesting one to play around with. The thing about specifically just that example of midnight to midnight, I know it could be any time, but I'm just going off of that one. My only concern with midnight to midnight is it's going to be a slow start. It's going to be a slow start in 2 ways. Slow start in viewership and a slow start in donations. Every year it happens. We do really well at the beginning. We get to like 9 p.m., 10 p.m., and it starts to taper. You hit midnight, it's dead. And it's dead until either the rest of the stream or it's dead until like that last stretch where some people might throw in those last couple donations. So my concern with midnight to midnight, once it's at low viewership and low donations off the bat, it's a slow start. So not because I'm like, oh, people aren't going to donate this year, but it kind of gets in your mindset a little bit of like, ooh, it's not going great. Like you're not building traction per se. So it's like, right, but possibly that would give you the energy you lose in the mornings. For sure. Yeah, absolutely. That would give the boost there. And then it doesn't mess with the sleep schedule too as much. I mean, working nights this year.
For 24 hours, though. You're still up for 24 hours.
You're still up for 24 hours, but at least like,
crash at the end.
Yeah, but it'd be nighttime when we're falling asleep if it was midnight to midnight instead of middle of the day. But I mean, granted, this year, like I said, with the day shifts, it's not like it's later. It's 6 hours later than I normally would, but it's not as jarring as if like, okay, I work 9 to 5, etc., and then now I'm sleeping during the day, and then that's a whole rigmarole of getting up, etc., or getting back used to that sleep schedule. So yeah, that could be a thing. Maybe doing like a 9 a.m. to 9 a.m. I don't know. My thing with like the 12 to 12, my thinking behind that was like, okay, it's the weekend. People are going to sleep in. Okay, they're going to have a slow start. They're going to want to relax on their weekend. So something that's in the afternoon or that evening spot, like people or afternoon, like people are going to want to tune in. So that was my thinking behind it. Also, it was like, hey, when are my friends going to want to get up? Also, we're all relative to the same age and we're going to sleep in anyway. So why not make it noon and then go from there? But yeah, the time can definitely be something we play around with too and see how that goes. Could also snag a co-pilot so you can catch a nap. Yeah, and I mean, we did that for the 24 for 24. It wasn't an extra live stream, but it was 24 hours for me turning 24, where I went till 6 or something. Billy came in, streamed for a few hours. I think I slept for maybe 2 or 3 and then took back over. I do remember that. Yeah, that was good. That was better. Yeah, it's interesting. That would be something we could do. Yeah, like I said, Kate is not a big fan of the 24 hours. And the big thing, too, with her is I don't want to, like, once again, I don't want to, this could be for anybody. I don't want to just be like, here you go. Like, here's everything. Just pressure. Like, what if something goes wrong with stream? How do I fix it? Do I not feel comfortable chatting in front of X, Y, or Z people? So, like, if it was just a one-off type of thing, like, me to Kate, me to Billy, me to whoever, just passing it off, I don't know. Interesting. But maybe if it was, like, more of a team or a group, like, okay, hypothetically, pie in the sky idea. Like if we had the LTS group again, we had me, Billy, John Dio. If we had it where like the three of them took over and they're doing whatever, like that's a group I feel I could trust to hold it down. If it was Kate, Rainbow, Pancake, hypothetically, I think that's a group I could trust. I'd have to show them a little bit more. Well, that would be an entertaining segment.
Oh, yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
Hand over your string to us?
well, it is a bold strategy. It is a bold strategy to hand it over to the ladies, but I know they all have good chemistry, and it would be a blast and entertaining for people to watch. Same with John, Billy, and John, Billy, Dio. Jesus Christ, that'd be a good group. If it was the cousins, if it was Charlie, if it was TJ, and if it was Brendan, that's a group I would hand it over to, or Steven, or whoever. Like, there's certain groups that I know have chemistry and would be entertaining to watch. Whatever they were playing, I feel I'd be more willing to be like handed over to a group rather than an individual. Because, I mean, hell, I know, and I've talked about it before, it's a lot of pressure, and you get in your mind when you're solo. And you're like, oh, God, am I talking enough? Am I not talking enough? Am I entertaining? Am I doing this thing? I don't know. And like those late night hours or whenever it is, usually it's late night when I'm solo, it's rough. You know? Not rough like just bad. Like, I don't know. I could get in your head a little bit like, which is why I appreciate this year Jeff and Sarah and TJ were there to kind of keep talking with me and whatever. Because, like, it is hypothetically that other person in the room. That's what the chat is so awesome. And I'm grateful for that. So I don't know. Are you entertained? Exactly. You're here, but you're just sitting there. Could do an extended stream for a certain amount, like the 800 for 30. Yeah, I mean,
Hard pass.
Kate's all against it. You could probably hear her in the background. I'd be for it. I don't know about another 12 unless we had the pass off method where I could take a nap, like some, people moving in and out, That's why I said it, because Kate hates it. Got it. Just to get the reaction. So yeah, if we had like the teams to swap, I think that would be great. Just keep going. Okay, here's like we make the plan for the 24. And then we, here's the backup plan for the next 24.
Excuse me.
Uh-oh. Podcast listeners, welcome.
I spent the 3 hours in between the end of stream and the beginning of this podcast putting together that arcade cabinet.
And not done.
That's my supporting.
That's your support. You did.
I'm the more handy one in between the two of us, so I
could have done it.
I'm just saying.
I could have done all that stuff.
Yeah, you
just
could.
like, okay. Anyway, podcast listeners.
Audio only listeners don't get to see me wrapped up in this soft blanket.
Nope. Ooh, Tetris 4.
That'd be a good one.
There you go. Write it down before we forget. We did have that 4-player Tetris on the wheel that one year for the belt, but it didn't land.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, we could do that. Speaking of the belt, I thought that was awesome this year. The Extra Life Championship.
Yeah, it was good.
I really wish I got off my ass and did a little bit more production of that earlier, but I'm very happy with how it came out for 3 days working on that.
Yeah.
And realizing last minute, oh fuck, we recorded this wrong. We need to re-record it. So
yeah, like 11 p.m. the night before we recorded.
that was a lot of editing, but it got done. And that's going to be an interesting thing too. Like next year, what do we do for the belt? Because let's say hypothetically quarantine's over. Hypothetically, like, please, for Jesus. Do we do a big tournament again? Or is this now just a thing between you and me? Because, as we all know, not a clean finish in Boca.
It wasn't a clean finish. I agree with you.
I mean, we did best of 5.
I was not fully satisfied by that.
Oh,
by
really?
My win.
Oh, okay.
I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Also, this blanket is the coziest, softest blanket I've ever felt. Ever. I wish you could feel it. Audio listeners, rip.
Royal Rumble for number one contender? We could do that. Like a tournament to be number one contender, and then either right after or later they go head to head. Okay. Yeah, that's a good idea. Damn, where's my pen? So, yeah, that's a thing we could definitely do. And if it is just us, like, what do we do next time? Like, I felt we were pretty balanced in Mario Party, which I know we were scared about, too.
I was surprised.
I'm not sure if it was the lack of attention we were paying to the game or what. So, like an up, up, down, left, right, left, right. Can WWE style Royal Rumble it, put a ring in the yard? Yeah, we can do that in the summer. If we do the summer event, that's the tournament to become number one contender. Then November, that's when it actually happens. We get a build, we hit the program. So, yeah, we could figure something out like that. Let me write this down. Tetris. And then number one contender. So... But yeah, I've been enjoying that. It's something just to kind of break up the pace, I guess.
Jenga tourney.
Oh, there you go. There you go. Yeah, and that's another thing too. If we could incorporate board games into it, I think that'd be a blast too. Like, it's just a matter of presenting it. Because if we're gonna do it, I want to do it well. So Skycam or just the angle of the camera in general. Like, I don't know. I'd love to toss someone at a ring, not gonna lie. Who wouldn't? I really enjoyed this Rio's Extra Life a lot. I'm glad.
Oh, good.
I'm really glad. And yeah, we've gotten a lot of positive comments like that. And like, that's the thing too, is Catan battle where you want a fucking 72-hour stream.
My Uncle John out here for a Catan
Oh
battle.
God, he would be number one contender because everybody quit. Just like, you know what? I'm done. You can have the sheep. Go away.
Oh, get Jess out here. Everybody would lose.
Oh no.
That man is so good at Catan.
Oh boy.
I like the idea of Jenga though.
Jenga would be good. Yeah, I don't know. Oh, do you remember it was a game when we were kids called Perfection?
I feel like
it was a timer, and you'd put these different little shapes in like pegged holes on a blue grid, and the timer would go. And if you didn't get it in time, it would spring out, and all the pieces would go. We could do that, and spread it out. Don't jam all the Jenga in one period. Oh, okay, interesting. So do like intermittent Jenga. That's good. Like I said, if you had like a setup for it that we could easily cut to. Like we did the brick breaking setup. If we had a setup in a different room or whatever, and we like, okay, we're cutting over to the Jenga tournament, like whatever, and then just and it's all there and set up already. Like, yeah, that could work. Or we could do that stupid cup stack where we could do it the fastest.
Oh God.
Oh boy, get Simon. Oh God. Boop boop. Boop, boop, boop.
Oh, that stresses me out. Oh, that stresses me out so hard.
Oh, no. Yeah. Or a Bop It. Do a Bop It tournament. You're going to have somebody with their clicker like 1, 2, 3, like counting how many they got. Yeah, that's a lot of good ideas. So, yeah, board game aspect to it. Yeah, I don't know. Bop It Extreme. Yeah, there's a lot of good ones. I mean, if you did the summer event and we did something outside, you could do like a physical challenge, like a relay race or just something dumb outside. I don't know. That could really intense. Yeah. Yeah, the main thing is like what could be entertaining enough to watch. Like it seemed like people were invested in the Mario parties. As Steve talked about it, like, and I think Papa Griff, I turned into the heel out of nowhere. I was the bad guy. And everybody was cheering for Kate. Wii bowling, yeah, if we can find it.
Wii bowling is a great idea.
Wii bowling is a fantastic idea. Do the 100-pin Wii bowling. Whoever scores the highest knocks down the most pins. Oh, it's great. Yeah, you go from like 10 to 20 to 30 and you keep going up. Yeah, that'd be fun. A lot of good ideas. But yeah, it seemed like people were into the extra, of course, or into the Extra Life Championship portion. So, so I'm glad. That's always a big worry of mine. Is like, okay, how invested are people gonna be, or is it just like, nah, I don't really care for this part. Like,
Yeah.
it's dumb thing to say, but I want everybody to be invested in every part, every minute.
Yeah.
I don't want there to be lulls. Like, once again, like I said, Spelunky was probably a lull this year. Like, nah, it wasn't the game. Moving out was only a lull because of my attitude. Like, I feel like I brought everybody down. But, like, Mario Party was great. Among Us was a lot of fun. Like,
Thanks, Pancake. Love you.
so, love that game. But yeah, the 100-pin bowling, yeah. So, yeah, it's just a matter of figuring it out. And like I said, we've already talked about it a little bit. We talked about maybe doing, once again, 2 Extra Lives, but not necessarily the summer, November, but do like a weekend where it's 12 hours of everybody's hanging out, everybody's over, and then doing one like this year where it's the more intimate stuff. Moving Out was the final hours. Yeah, that was right before Jackbox, so that was 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. So here's the thought. Spread your goals per time, more in the waking hours, less during the overnight. For like the milestones, you mean? We could do that. I'm assuming not like a limited time thing, just like...
We kind of did that, though.
Well, I mean, that's kind of just like, how's it go? That's like... The pace is based on the donator, not the time.
Yeah.
So like, like these are our daytime hours. If we hit it by 12 a.m., because that's midnight, you get it. If not, maybe it goes away. And then there's different goals for nighttime, like bigger chunks during the day, smaller. Oh, like bigger spreads.
Oh.
Okay, so maybe as we, yeah, we could do that, or maybe like as we get higher up the ladder, they get smaller. So like 250, 500, 750, 850, 950, something like that, hypothetically, or whatever the fuck you want it to be. Okay. X amount for first Y. Oh, okay. Could do that too. Like, if we hit this much in the first 4 hours, then we'll do this. Or whatever. Okay. Yeah, it could work. A lot of things you could play around with. But, Brittany thinks she can out squat you. Well, you got an extra passenger now. I mean, tell her she's got to hold a dog while she does it. But yeah, I don't know. It was a really good year, and especially year 5, I wanted to do big too, but obviously we couldn't necessarily in one way do it big. But I felt like this.
It was a good one.
It was definitely a good year. Yeah, just definitely more excited for next year. And that's the same thing that happens every year. It's like, as soon as you're done, I think I mentioned it on the outro. I was like, I just want to keep going. I don't want to stop. But obviously we have to. It's just like, because I'm going to die if we don't. I think we were successful. Absolutely we were. Absolutely. Like I said, we set a new high record for money raised. Chat interactiveness was great. Social media we tried to put out there. That's something I'd like to improve on. If we could have, I joked around with, I don't know if I actually talked to him, but the idea of JC, a good friend of mine who's helped film numerous things for me, and I've helped him, making almost like a permanent cam that the stream doesn't see, like a hard cam, but it's just recording footage, a slightly different perspective at a higher definition. Either doing that and having that film all day, or have a film crew, like have him film, just walking around, see different things. Like our social media presence, I think if we had, it's going to sound dumb, a social media like community manager taking clips of stuff and putting it out constantly. I know Mrs. G has tried that a couple times where she's filming stuff, but like, okay, the bricks this year, like people were clipping out the bricks. If we shared that on Twitter, we shared that on Instagram, go and like put those up, or like the chip. Oh my God, the chip's happening now. Or even just teasers like we hit 1,000 is this. Like if we had something like that, that'd be great. Obviously I can do that. It's just like I'm juggling so many things at that time. It's like I can't put the energy into it. That's what big people do. That's why I'm trying to think big brain, big thoughts, you know, like we don't have that person yet, and we could have that person. Like once again, I don't want to just be like, here Kate, do this, you know. Like that's your responsibility. Like if people are down to do it and they want to do it, absolutely I'll try my best to guide and help people there, but I don't want to just assign it to someone and then be like, yeah, I'll do that kind of thing. So I think there's that. And I mean, technically we got to give a shout out to Jeff. Jeff shouted out my Extra Life so many times. His stream, the day of stream, Dio's done it too. I mean, my parents have shared it like at the beginning. Like there's people who do it. I just like, it's a certain, like I said, that more real time events. A dog cam, strap a remote to Cinnamon.
I think that's a great idea, first of all.
Get a GoPro.
That's an awesome idea. I think it has to be somebody who's physically there.
Yes,
probably.
Absolutely.
That was all I had to say.
Gotcha. Jeff's a solid dude. Jeff's is fantastic. Jeff is awesome.
I'm not voting for myself for that person because I have nearly zero social media. Well, there you go.
Well, that's the thing. Is I would like, here is my phone. Record or do what you need to.
Post on
Everything's logged in.
Yeah.
Please post. You know, that kind of thing.
Please post things.
Yeah, like I trust you with my phone. I mean, as Kate knows, there are no passwords or locks on my phone. So I mean, whatever. There's nothing important on there. So. Yeah, I mean, it's the usual improvement. Like, how do we improve stream? How do we improve this? How do we improve that? Like, Kate and I were talking about something literally, holy shit, almost an hour ago about like, changing the background here and how we're going to do that. And I was like, I was actually already thinking about it. And like, okay, how do we do that? And like, we've talked about doing date night or just streams together. Like, how are we doing that? We talked about, obviously, when we're moving, like, I want to do a 2-bedroom, so we'd have a stream room. Unfortunately, can't do that at the moment, but it's a goal, and, you know, we want to get there. And, yeah, there's been goals in the past, like I said, with the LTS guys, want to do stuff with that, and everybody's, you know, doing their own thing. Obviously, Dio moved. Billy's focused on school still. John's very focused on his church career. Like, everybody's doing their own thing. Like I said, I don't want to... I can ask, but I don't want to just assume and be like, this is what you're doing kind of thing. Like, if you want to do it and you want a part of this, like, absolutely, please. Like, Charlie's done that numerous times too, where he's like, just sat down and talked with me like, okay, what are your thoughts on content? What do you want to do? And when I was living out in California, he was down to help for some time, and then he got busy, and that's okay. You know, no worries. Like, the time that we were spending together and filming stuff or doing whatever, it was fun. It was a good old time. You know what I really enjoyed about this year with Extra Life? The little animation in between the camera angles. Oh, we had that last year. The transitions. Yeah, I really like that transition. I did want to update it before, but then it was 2 a.m. the night before, and I'm like, I gotta let this one go because I was like, I don't have short hair anymore. This picture's out of date. But yeah, I would love to. I wanted to put the art Josh Strickland, Dark Stampede on Twitter made for us. I wanted to put me with the belt and Kate with the mean face as the images. But yeah, that's another thing is like, how do we improve graphics? Like, we've changed the Extra Life setup, even the display of the screens every year. And this year was a slight change of the shadow on the boxes, but I mean, it was a change. And next year I'll probably be like, okay, how are we going to change it? Because I mean, it looks good, but how can we make it better kind of thing. Like maybe if it was just color scheme, change the colors of it or whatever. And yeah, like I said, updating that transition. And there's always the video I want to do beforehand. And like I said, I should do it earlier. I fucking storyboarded that intro in like August. And we didn't do anything for it until November. It's just like, what are you doing? So, missed a lot of last year, unfortunately. I understand. But I liked it anyways. Appreciate that. Yeah, and that's the thing, too, is like, I'd love everybody to be there for the full 24 hours. But yeah, you got lives, too. You got to do your thing. Don't pressure yourself to change what's already good. Hit the lows before the highs. For sure. I don't know. It's just, my thing is just like a fresh coat of paint. Like, not that it necessarily I have to overhaul everything. Because, yeah, this one was just a quick, small change. But like I said, what if it's a color change or whatever? Because this layout does work. I got plenty of time. Hype man I can be. Just keep me behind the camera. Oh, but people love seeing you.
It's true. They do.
Yeah, it's just a rearrangement or whatever. And like I said, it's if we work on it now, imagine how good it can be, kind of thing. So, there you go. They'll be entertained. Yeah, it's just, like I said, it's a matter of working on it now. Like, I talked about it with Sam and Steve during his little interview during the podcast a couple episodes ago. Like, keep planning out further and further ahead for the extra life. So if we could do the planning and then do action instead of waiting, then it could be that much better. Like I had the wrestling entrances idea ages ago too. It's just, yeah. Whatchamacallit? Production of it. I don't know. There's a different word I wanted, but I can't think of it. A lot of good ideas here. You, and I mean we, can run with it. For sure. That Scooby laugh. So, yeah. Well, that's Extra Life, guys. Just wanted to kind of run through that again and chat about how I felt about it. And I'm like, obviously with all your comments here, I'm really glad you guys were enjoying it, entertained by it, invested in it enough, obviously, to have these ideas now and kind of open discussion about it. It's kind of that, not a hive mentality, but a group mentality. Like, you can get more ideas and quality ideas in a group than just a tunnel vision of one. Like, those ideas can be good, but they can always be adjusted or tweaked or whatever. So thank you guys. I do appreciate you doing that. And if you are not watching or listening to this live and you have ideas, please let me know. Comments, message me, whatever. Any and all input is good. Well, usually good. No, I'm just kidding. Anything you guys got, we appreciate it. I'm the queen bee. Okay. Noise. So, yeah. Just a matter of figuring out what's going on. Audio, I'm sorry.
The cat needs his dinner.
He needs his din-dins. So, yeah. We'll figure it out. All right. Moving on to topic 2. Do you want a chair? Are you going to stand
No,
there?
I'm just going to creepily stand
Yeah,
there
just-
the whole time.
For Extra Life? Yeah, I definitely want to know. I mean, when you guys moved back, I was like, oh my God, this is going to be awesome. Why does Extra Life have to suck this year with quarantine? Because, yeah, I'd love to have you guys there. So, that would be swell.